Happy Monday, HailStalkers. I'm lead meteorologist John Choquette here for an attempt to do our live again. We have continued to have some computer issues. We're trying really hard to get it all sorted out. Again, if this cuts out, we will record it and we will post it on social media afterwards as an edited version or something like that. But hopefully we're able to cut through here because we have a ton to talk about today. We have the return of severe weather. March is coming in like a line here, folks. And for folks here in Oklahoma City and even down to the DFW area, it might be a late night. You might either get woken up, or if you're a night owl like a lot of us here at HailTrace, you're going to be probably not getting too much sleep tonight because it looks like we're going to see all types of hazards, the hail, the tornadoes, the wind, all very possible here in the overnight hours tonight. And that's going to continue into tomorrow as well, where we will see very likely a fair amount of severe weather sweeping across the country, across Dixie Alley and into the southeast, even onto Wednesday. And beyond that, behind the dry line and the cold front and all the forcing that we're seeing for the storms that are going to be expected tonight through the next few days, we may actually have some pretty extremely critical fire conditions as well. Very dry, very windy, and that could cause some large fires, and we'll highlight that as well in Texas and New Mexico. Before that, again, the Raising Hail Tour. Reason why Taylor's not here is because, well, the Raising Hail Tour is still happening. We can see what to expect for the severe weather season beyond just this week, of course. Tomorrow in Omaha, there's actually a chance of severe weather pretty dang close to Omaha. So make sure you go check that out. That's where Taylor's going to be. We'll probably be posting that and kind of tag team and maybe seeing some severe weather as well. And then finally, March 11th in Orlando, Florida, where we'll also have the hurricane forecast as well. So if you want to go and you need tickets, you get $10 off that $25 ticket with RHT Taylor 10. So again, $10 off using that code. Come join us either in Omaha tomorrow, I think there's still some seats, or in Orlando next week. And that'll be the last one we do here. And then pretty much at that point, it's going to be severe weather season. And I believe we'll probably have the forecast posted publicly as well, some point after that as well. So yesterday's storm reports. We did see some rain here across portions of Oklahoma, unexpected for me, and it started raining way earlier than I thought it was going to at my house. We ended up squeaking out, I think, one lone severe hail report. We did have a severe thunderstorm watch out there, I think a couple funnel clouds and stuff, kind of just basically for storm chasers, getting that little bit of taste of severe weather season coming up here, but for the most part, not too crazy. I think we're going to see a lot more severe weather going into tonight through the next couple of days. I think that's going to be the first. Oh, good. The chat's actually showing up. Took a while for that to happen, but that's okay. If you got comments, put it in the comment section below on whatever platform you're watching us on, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys may have. So departures from normal. Again, we're well above normal. This is why we're getting that potential for some severe weather here for tonight into tomorrow. We've got a lot of good moisture return, got a lot of very warm conditions across the center of the country. And notice tomorrow, you can tell it's pretty obvious this time of year when you have a large severe weather event to show up just on departures from normal. You see that cold air coming in Tuesday, and then by the time Wednesday comes around, can you tell me where the front is, guys? Right here. By the time we get to Wednesday morning, we'll have all the cold air sinking down behind the storm system and that severe weather moving to the East Coast by the time Wednesday rolls along. So let me get that move forward here. So what's happening currently? Well, we have basically everything trying to ramp itself up to allow for some storm formation here this evening and overnight hours. It is quiet here across a good chunk of the southern plains. We're socked in the cloudiness here in Oklahoma City. It's in the low 50s right now, but notice down here across far southwestern sections of Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, it is clear and it is warm as well, where we actually have that good moisture return. Temperatures really starting to rise, and that's setting the stage here for some severe weather tonight. So again, it may be noon right now, but we're not going to see anything at all until after midnight tonight for a lot of folks. So that allows for a lot of moisture return, a lot of recovery of the atmosphere, another solid 12 hours. And that's why it's looking pretty aggressive for the severe weather risk for today. Now, current alerts, for the most part, it's a lot of red flag warnings and everything out there out in New Mexico and Texas, because behind all the moisture is dry as a bone. And with that means that we have a lot of fire hazards here. There we go. Fire outlook, we have an extreme fire outlook from about El Paso up to about Tucumcari, and then east to about Midland there, the extreme. So really, could potentially have some pretty bad fires today. Hopefully everything stays pretty much kind of status quo. We don't have too much, so burn bans in the area and don't toss your cigarettes out on I-10 or anything, because you could inadvertently create a big wildfire out here in the desert. That moves off to the east a bit. Tomorrow, again, pretty much once you get behind the cold front and the dry line, it's going to be very dry and very windy. And this time of year, we haven't had a ton of precipitation across a good chunk of this region, so that really does allow for that fire threat to increase, and it does hang out across most of western Texas beyond tomorrow as well. But enough about talking about fires. We're going to talk about severe weather potential here. Here's that future radar, and we're going to have to move this along for quite a bit here before we actually see any sort of severe weather. It's going to be looked at after about right around midnight there. The NAM, so one of the forecast models, does show storms across the I-35 corridor here in Oklahoma. As someone in Oklahoma City who likes to sleep at night, I would really prefer it at midnight and not 3 in the morning. So this would be fine for me. Unfortunately, that would mean that we'd have some big-time storms. We zoom in a little bit more with the HRRR. You can show those storms blowing up here off to the west in around midnight. So basically what's happening is we have a dry line set up, and you're going to have that cold front crashing down to the south, and all that forcing is going to allow for a bunch of storms to form along that dry line / cold front region in the overnight hours. So daytime heating, all that, not that big of a deal, but the big thing is the dynamic forcing that we're seeing with these storms. What's that going to allow for is initially, as the storms go up, could see some hail. It's the 3rd of March. It's been cold aloft. So you got a lot of that cold air. You guys probably are the ones following us know that March hail hits kind of different. It's because it's really cold up there, and it's going to allow for less time for the hail to melt as it falls. So there is that potential for any of these initial storms to have some fairly large hail. The problem is we're going into a linear mode pretty fast here, which means we're going to kind of shift away from the hail threat beyond the first hour or two of storm formation and go more towards that tornado and wind threat. Just because it's a line of storms doesn't mean that it's not possible to see tornadoes. I think it's probably fairly likely we'll see some spin-up tornadoes in the overnight hours tonight. Again, this is going to probably be a fairly active evening from anywhere from Wichita down south to about Dallas, where any of those storms that do pretty much just catch the right amount of shear could see a spin-up tornado. These ones are very hard to predict because they can come up very quickly, and also very hard to see because they're usually within the line of storms. It's also going to be in the middle of the night. So you got that dynamic duo there of hard as crap to see. So pay attention to your weather alerts. We will probably not be doing any live coverage. It's going to be way too late for us to be doing live storm coverage. So we'll be tracking this for you, of course, so everything will be mapped, any sort of strong gusty winds, any hail, and even further to the south here, where there is that chance for the tail end Charlie, so that isolated storm, you could see some larger hail. So I'm really kind of paying attention anywhere south of the Red River, where we could have that potential, again, for some storms that stay a little more isolated and allow for some more hail. So what's that hail forecast for today? We're going kind of broad here. I'm pretty much putting in the risk areas for the areas more likely where storms are going to be initially forming. We're going to see that better chance for hail. So Wichita, storms are going to be forming pretty close to Wichita, so I wouldn't be shocked if we saw some hail, and this is at least 1-inch hail here, so that moderate chance for the Wichita area. I say moderate chance as well for Wichita Falls, just as, again, storms are going to be forming and be a little more isolated. Storms might end up staying north of Abilene. Dallas is the only one I had some real questions about. If anything stays fairly isolated, you could see some pretty good size hail moving into Dallas, or even just hail in general. I think we will for sure be at a squall line for Oklahoma City. Will we see hail somewhere in the metro? Probably. Will it be quarters? I don't know. It may be much smaller than that. But there's an outside chance something shoots out in front of the line, something is able to stay just ahead of line enough to have its own inflow to allow for some larger hail, so that's why we got the orange in there as well. Golf ball to maybe a rogue 2-inch stone is possible with this tonight, but again, this is all going to be very late after midnight through about 5 o'clock in the morning here, anywhere around the I-35 corridor, and then there's your risk levels again as well. So that's what we're expecting for that hail forecast for tonight. Again, this is not till after midnight, so all day today it's going to be quiet. Nothing crazy is going to go down till probably a lot of folks are asleep. So if you get woken up and you're hearing things hitting your roof, that might mean that the hail ended up overperforming and going up to that 2-inch diameter. Again, I think the better chance of the biggest hail is going to be at that initial development, probably west of Wichita, probably west of Oklahoma City, and then anything that ends up staying isolated on its own down further south, that tail end Charlie, so to speak, closer to the I-20 corridor. So we'll keep a close eye on that with Dallas. If anything starts becoming more interesting, like more clear for tonight, we'll try to post some kind of update here on social media. I'll probably be talking to Taylor a little bit. I know she's flying to Omaha now. She might want to post some stuff, since this is our first bigger severe risk of the year here. Wind forecast, this one's more likely across probably a wide swath of area. Kind of got moderate risk across the board here. I think any of these storms, especially once that squall line forms, they'll have gusty winds at least up to 60, 65 miles an hour. And again, that tornado risk as well is looking fairly robust. I mean, the Storm Prediction Center, oh no, all my markers went away. The Storm Prediction Center is going